that stubbornness to succeed, I think, drives my poor husband crazy. He knows now if I say I'm going to be 15 more minutes, he knows I'm still emailing Jen. Jen's one of my clients at 1 o'clock in the morning because I have an idea for them. So he was excited because I went to bed at 10:30 last night, so he was, happy, which is good. Happy husband, happy life. I know it's normally happy wife, happy life, but so forth. For those who, Brett and Jen know me quite well, know that I'm a little quirky, a little bit different. Not so corporate, and I used to be something that I used to struggle with until I spoke and did the coaching with Karina and realised that actually being different and being, I like to say it as a round peg in a square hole, is actually pretty exciting. It's really great to be different, to be unique, to be who you are and so forth, and not care what people think about you. It's so hard because, we grow up in childhood and our teens that we always have to fit in, we always have to do this and that, and it's such a liberating and also scary experience because you're told one thing and then all of a sudden you're told, actually, no, you're pretty great how you are. So I'm very big on empowering business owners and students in general in the path to marketing. Marketing and digital marketing, unfortunately, is one of the things which is so misunderstood. We get told one thing, then the technology changes, and then we get told something different. So the purpose of today's presentation is to give you a brief introduction into the world of digital marketing and also the power behind digital marketing. Why I fell into digital marketing was I love the underdog. It's why I love I'm going to mention In Excess. I always mention In Excess when I do a presentation. My favourite band, and they were an underdog and so forth. What I love about it is, for the first time ever, digital marketing allows the small players of the industry the same benefits and opportunities as large players. So if you think about a TV ad that's 30 seconds long, you're looking at $50,000, $100,000 in production costs. A small business can't afford that. You can do effective Facebook advertising for $5 a day and get results, get click-throughs, get inquiries and so forth. And that's what I love about digital marketing. So what I'm going to focus on today is, I guess, the main pillars of digital marketing. So a general introduction into digital marketing, looking at then your website, the advance of mobile marketing, search engine optimization, which is, I guess, the cash cow of the industry at the moment, good old social media, and then, of course, lovely Google. I'm also going to be sending on Monday 2 free guides that I provide my clients with which is the ultimate guide to marketing on a shoestring. So again, giving you some ideas of things you can do that work well, that don't cost the earth. And also an ultimate guide to your website, so things you should be doing on a regular basis. My husband hates that I like to give stuff for free, but I like to do things for free. It's, I guess that's my why. So Bob Parsons was the founder of GoDaddy, and basically he has this amazing quote saying that with digital marketing, we basically want it now. Everybody wants something now with the advent of digital. Just wanted to ask you, out of curiosity, how many advertising messages do you think we're exposed to on a daily basis? Got any idea?
Many.
Tons. On average, 5,000 advertising messages. A little less for me because I listen to the 774, so I don't answer that. I'm very old. I'm an old woman at heart, and my husband is, poor John, I always criticise him, now he's lovely, but I wake up to Red Simons in the morning and it always freaks John out because who's his voice talking to me? I said, well, at least it gets you out of bed. And he goes, but it puts me back to sleep. And I love John Fane, they're my 2, and then Raphael, anyway, I'll stop talking about that. But essentially 5,000 advertising messages a day. So if you think about from when you turn your phone on to listen to the radio, if you still read a newspaper, if you look at news online, if you watch TV or something, 5,000 messages. So it's a very, very busy marketplace. So it's no wonder why we're confused. I talk to my students at Swinburne University and I say to them, go down to the toothpaste aisle. Have a look at how many types of toothpaste are there. And then they start to freak out and go, actually, okay, I understand. So it's a complicated and confusing space, but because it's complicated and confusing, it's also very exciting because once you find your niche and you find your why, you find that little pocket in the marketplace, and you learn what you want to do best. So Brett's sitting behind is one of my earliest clients, and first off I was going to do this, and then I realised what I was good at, and that was digital marketing. So you're able to concentrate on what you do best. So digital marketing, it's also known as e-marketing, internet marketing, online marketing. They're all used interchangeably. Uses the internet to deliver promotional marketing messages to consumers. So it's an instantaneous method or medium. Before I start, I just wanted to quickly talk about one of my clients, Loretta from Quick Business Bookkeeping Solutions. I like to always mention client at the start, so it gets you thinking about where you want to be, where you see yourself in 6 months, 18 months, 3 years time, 5 years time, and so forth. I met Loretta in January of 2015, and she had one of the worst web presences I've ever seen in my life. She had done the freelancer, Fiverr, Odesk thing, and got a website built for about $600. And they were then doing the SEO for her and so forth, which resulted in her website being blacklisted off Google, so she could not be found at all. Now, if you're a small business not being found on Google, that's pretty scary. She also had a lot of technological issues. Email wasn't working, nothing was synced. Now, when you're a bookkeeper, process is everything. And I really admire that in bookkeepers, because marketers are less process orientated. So I sat with her and we worked out exactly what she wanted to do, what she wanted to do. Bookkeeping, again, is one of those industries very busy, very populated. And we worked out that actually what her strength is in training. So that's why we get on so well, because we both talk for hours. She's very good at training people in QuickBooks Online. So we focused her website on actually training people in QuickBooks Online. Educating them and so forth. Now, if you type in on Google, type in QuickBooks Online Training, QuickBooks Online Training Melbourne, or QuickBooks Online Training Australia, she's on page 1 of Google within the top 4 or 5 results. And in one of them, she's just under intuit.com.au, which is a company of QuickBooks in Australia. From working with her, because she had a bad experience with web, and we've all been there, done that, had bad experiences. She said, I'm not blogging, I don't want to do blogs, they're useless. I did them, they did nothing for me. And I said to her, let me show you Google Analytics. Let me show you that every time you do a blog, that data, that people are actually coming back to your website. And she said, no, not interested. So I said, okay, let me write your first one. I'll do it for you. I'll put it up. We'll put it through social media. We'll put it out there. She did it, we did it, and there was a massive spike in traffic. I'm not talking about 5 or 10%, I'm talking about 50% spike in traffic. So she ran and gone, oh, okay, what you've been telling me about is actually of relevance. So she started blogging fortnightly, monthly, off and on, and every time she does it, she has a spike in traffic. Intuit Australia saw that she was blogging. She's now writes regularly for Intuit Australia. She's being paid by Intuit Australia to always attend. Americans love conferences, and they did this massive conference. Oprah was at this bookkeeping conference last year. Pay her business fares to go there and to also speak at this event, all from just doing these little blogs. What is so powerful about that? Now she's also writing blogs for the Asian market, so Hong Kong, Singapore, and also been asked to write for blogs in Intuit America. What they love about her is because when you say cloud bookkeeping, people automatically think zero. But actually QuickBooks Online is per capita around the world has more users. It just hasn't grown at the same level as Australia. So they wanted people who were influential early on in the piece to become ambassadors for the brand. And that's essentially what she's become. Her website now has a bounce rate of 2.98%, which is anything lower than 25% is exceptional, which means that 97% of people go to her website actually can stay on, and she gets about 500 to 1,000 a month, so it's significant. I'm not talking about 100 people, I'm talking about a significant number of people. And this was all done, I guess, by changing her mindset and educating her about digital marketing. So, the thing to remember about digital marketing is that it has a global reach and vast scope. So,
Jen had just experiencing that she's from a client of mine from charity called SEO Incorporated in Box Hill. They have charities or missions that they support in Australia and internationally. They've started doing Facebook. And they did a post about literacy and tagged Jordan in it because the image was from Jordan. So they've had people from Jordan and the Middle East look at their website. So you do always have to remember that there is a global element to it. There's also vast scope. So what's really important is you need to think about the bigger picture. Think about how you can use digital marketing for your advantage. So if you're a coach, if you're providing some type of service, think about Skype, direct chat, forums, things that you can use in a non-traditional sense to grow your business. Also, don't just think about local. Think about how you can have a global, through products that you may be able to sell on a global focus. So Etsy, for example, when I was getting married in January 2014, I didn't want fresh flowers, I wanted paper-based flowers. So I went onto Etsy and I got flowers from this lovely lady in Bulgaria in Europe. Now, without these sort of platforms...
Was it a little sting?
Oh, it was amazing, and it shipped. I can't tell you how quickly it shipped as well. I ordered it so much in advance because I was panicking. Yet you order something from Sydney through Australia Post, it can take, longer. Lovely woman, got it all done. Now there'd be no way without this technology that I would have been able to do that. So thinking global is really, really important. And then also thinking, national and so forth, because you can build up your networks, and have people representing your brand interstate and so forth. Interactivity. So the big thing about the web is that it's an interactive medium. People want to communicate, but they want two-way communication. So you can't always tell them, rah, rah, I'm great, which is sometimes what happens with business owners. They think if they shout and they say, I do this, I do that, or do the low, I'm on special, low price, that people will come to them. You need to have two-way communication. And also people want to be mini celebrities. That's why Instagram, for example, has taken off, selfies and those sort of things. So I had a client who's a beautician who said, I have all these amazing specials nobody wants, nobody takes them up. And I said, but you need to interact with them. So I said, why don't you do a thing where they can share their makeup tips and they put a photo up of themselves and you can have a client of the month. My goodness, you would think that they were winning Miss Universe. These people have gone nuts for getting their photo on Facebook and Instagram, and she doesn't have a massive presence, probably about 500 Facebook likes. And people love it because they get to interact. Then they get to tell their friends, hey, look at me, I got featured and all these sort of stuff. So two-way communication is very important. But it does have its drawbacks because you will get people, unfortunately, or I like to think of it fortunately, who will tell you what they don't like about your business and will use social media or other forms in order to tell you that. My opinion is it's better they tell you through social media than they tell everyone else and not tell you. And the best thing you can ever do in that circumstance is respond to the complaint up there, never delete it. Keep it up there, show that you're responsive, that you've acknowledged the complaint, and that you've changed processes and so forth. People can see straight away if that person is a bit of a nutter. Unfortunately, you can sometimes get people who are a little bit out there, or they can see that, hang on, you've actually taken their complaint on board and done something about it. Immediacy. So the other thing about digital marketing is because everybody wants everything now, and also the fact that we run a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week lifestyle, it can be confusing. So social media through Hootsuite and other social media scheduling tools, you can put posts 7 days a week at any time of the week. What happens though is a customer will have a look and go, oh, they just put a tweet out at 9 a.m. on a Sunday. So they might send a message or they might inquire with you and then wonder whether they don't hear back from you. So you need to be clear that if you are scheduling things that often what companies will do, like Optus and Telstra will say, social media 24 hours, 7 days a week, but customer service 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. So we make it clear. The thing about digital marketing, because it is immediate, you don't have to think about doing stuff. So if obviously you want to have a strategy behind it, but you can do things off the fly. So one of the best examples was Oreo cookies in 2013 during the Super Bowl. In the 2013 Super Bowl, the power went out. And what Oreo did was they sent a tweet saying, power out, no problems, you can still dunk in the dark. So they would have already had this in mind, like had this kept and saved for an occasion like that. So this one got, at the time that the screenshot was taken, 15,000 retweets. Now that suits their branding and that suits their personality, so they can get away with that. So having an idea and thinking ahead in the circumstance that if something does happen, you've got a response. So if you think about it last night, anyone with Telstra here? So you had the joy of no internet, no phone. Would have been a perfect exact time for Vodafone and Optus if they thought ahead to have done something, had something ready to go for this morning, saying switch now, we'll give you 20% off or something like that, we'll pay your plan outright. What happens is, like Karina was saying, is most people don't plan ahead. They're always reactive. And you will see on social media, if any of you are in the business networking groups, there's always generally a war on price because someone will say something and go, well, no, I can do it for 20% cheaper. So trying to be proactive is very important. Demographics and targeting. This is another reason why I love digital marketing. You know, if you put an ad in the local paper and get no response or no inquiries, you don't know, is it because it was put on the wrong page? Was it the wrong week to put it in? Did the colours bleed? What was wrong about the ad, why you didn't get inquiries? If you do something in digital marketing, it's always measured. So you'll know, did it work? Like Facebook advertising, for example, is phenomenal. The detail you can go down sex, age, the interests, you know, and get down to really nitty-gritty detail. So if you do social media ads, you can find out, was it more women who clicked on the ad, more males who clicked on your ad? So one of my clients, Merino Baby Clothing, we launched their brand in the UK in December of last year, and they kept on saying, it might have been October, November, and the client kept on saying, we want to target parents. And I said, well, it's October, November, it's beautiful clothing, maybe you should think about targeting grandparents with gifts. So we did a social media strategy and we did parents as one cohort and then grandparents as the second cohort. And what was interesting was that in the end, I was right, which is exciting. I like to be right, most of the time I am, touch wood. My husband would disagree, but anyway. We were able to show that the grandparents were clicking on the ads and they were the ones buying the products for the exact reason, because we targeted around Christmas, you know, give the gift of giving, you know, love and those sort of things. Without digital marketing, you wouldn't know. It's very hard to know, okay, who's responding to the ads and why. So it can help you find that ideal client by doing these sort of, you know, Facebook ads or Google ads and so forth. The important thing to know is if one person is interested in your product, there is going to be a group that are interested in it as well. The hard part is finding them first, but you need to find them first before you start marketing, because what happens is you spend hundreds, thousands on marketing and it's wasted. And then what happens, you become disenfranchised and go, not working, not going to spend the money. And that's the worst thing you can do. The first thing that always gets cut in tough times is marketing, staff, you know, marketers as the solutions and also the problem. So thinking and figuring out who your market is very important. And I, through my, you know, I guess business, was always a little bit annoyed that I couldn't get corporate clients. And then I realised through talking through to Karina, actually I don't want corporate clients, but at the time I was like, why aren't I getting these clients? And then I realised actually my strength and my skill set and my client base is better as a small to medium size or not-for-profit business. So moving on to websites. Your website is your most important platform from a marketing perspective because it's around 24 hours, 7 days a week. So while Brett's sleeping because he's been doing a lot of pest inspections, his website is there for people to inquire with them. If you're getting ants at 3 o'clock in the morning, or I think I got some at like midnight and I send him an email sort of thing. It's there for people to review. Important thing to know is web visitors don't read pages, they scan content. So studies have shown that 79% of people who come to your site will scan, they're not going to read everything. So for those of you who think that, writing essays and all that is a good thing, it's not. You need to follow the inverted pyramid approach, which is similar to journalism. So your most important things have to be at the top, and then your less important going down the bottom. Now that is very different to the typical mindset, because normally we're always told to put your call to action at the end. You need to put it up earlier on, because chances are most of the people aren't going to see it. So you want to have the key information at the top to entice people to want to find out more. Because you only have 5 seconds to impress. On average, most people spend only 5 seconds on a website before deciding if they like it or if they're going to go to a competitor. So if your website takes longer than 5 seconds to load, you're already at a disadvantage. It's why you often will see websites with sliders that will rotate at 4 or 5 seconds for that reason, because they want people to catch the eye. They want to see something that's different. You have to remember that they say you need between 3 to 6 touch points for someone to contact you or inquire. So if your website looks the same, the 3 or 6 times that they've gone to contact you, they're probably not going to inquire or contact. So having content that's changing or moving, having a slider, those sort of visuals show that it's being updated, it's being refreshed. Studies have shown, and this is again why I love digital marketing, that people generally follow an F pattern when they're looking at a website. So what it is the red is where it's most prevalent. This is a shopping cart. So I presume, and you'd agree that buying online is quite convenient. What annoys me with shopping carts is, when they say those related items, you might like these, Amazon's terrible for it. And studies have actually shown that people don't care about that. All they want to know is that the price is right, it's got the right product, and they want to check out. So again, it's that 5 seconds to get people to want to move on and buy. Now, if people have gone all the way to the cart and have gone to want to buy, the last thing you want to do is to have a convoluted checkout process, because they'll just move on to somewhere else. Really important, a website shouldn't cost the earth. I see people who are still getting websites built that are not responsive, and then the web, basically responsive means that it's obviously tablet, mobile friendly and so forth. Then the developer will tell them it's another $2,000 to make it responsive. Outrageous. What you need though is a very strong back end. So the hard thing with web is you've got designers and you've got developers. And the hard thing with web is you want to make it pretty or sexy for Google, but also pretty and sexy for the humans. And it can be very hard marrying the two. But if you have a strong back end, you're going to get the benefits of SEO and other aspects that you wouldn't normally get. So breadth-through pull-safe inspections. You're on page 1 for Google. Yeah, up the top.
Number 1, yeah. Victoria.
Yeah, and we do no on-page, we know off-page SEO for Brett. We did all the back end and all that correctly. So if you set it up properly in the first place, you're going to save money in the long run. What happens is generally business owners will have, say, a coach, a marketer, copywriter, SEO, web person, and you get all these conflicting things about, no, you need to do this, you need to do that, and so forth. But if you build the foundation up first, have a strong back end, and have that right, then the design and all that you can finesse. The worst thing to do is if you have to redo, the back end. So Google favors a well-designed website with descriptive titles, headings, keywords, and compelling content. So again, bringing in that why. Typography, the ideal font size is 16 pixels, and you want a maximum of 3 typefaces. You don't want to have, Open Sans, Arial, and then a different typeface. Remember also the 3-click rule. So if you have your website, think about and actually do it yourself. Can you get to what you would want a customer to do within 3 clicks? If they can't, they'll click off. So mobile. We all have mobile. Some of us love them, some of them hate them. Mobile marketing is such a growing area. What is important to know is a mobile phone is personal, it's always carried, has a built-in payment system, which is such an advantage, and it's available at the point of creative inspiration. So what that means is there's actually business retailers now that if you go to try on clothing, that they'll make you pay a deposit before you try it on, because otherwise you take a photo of it and try to get it cheaper. Also captures the social context. 63% of people have said that they would not share their phone with anyone, not even their husband or wife. So it's very personal. So mobile marketing is such a growing area, and I've done this in class with my students, is I've had them to type in, cafes, blah, blah, all on the mobile devices. We're in the same room, and they all get different responses based on their previous history, based on where they live, based on what they've looked at. So mobile marketing is really important because it's becoming increasingly relevant to the individual. And I just want to mention on that note, it's becoming more and more personalised, the digital web in general. So what's happening is that because based on your previous search engine of results and so forth, so you start to get to see results that are personalised for you. And so one area of digital marketing that I'm not 100% on, because what means is, let's just say you're pro Donald Trump. Most people I know aren't. Let's just say you are. What happens is if you go onto the news websites and they've figured out that you're reading the pro Donald Trump articles, they're only going to show you pro Donald Trump articles. Now what that means is that people become more radicalised and more opinionated. If you grab a newspaper, you may not read the pro Donald Trump, the negative Donald Trump article, but you're still exposed to it. And it's kind of a little scary to think that we're seeing ads that are only relevant to us because of previous experience. And for those of you on social media, I went on Facebook when I was 18, I'm 29 now. So the things that I've liked 10 years ago when, I was blonde and going to nightclubs and aging my poor parents, that I don't like now, that I have to, I've actually gone through and culled that, because that's going to, all your results are being, tarnished. There was a case in the United States where through online purchasing and using like a Flybuys card, I think it was like Macy's or something, they figured out she was pregnant. She was a 16-year-old girl, and they sent a catalogue to her parents because she was using her parents' Flybuys card, or whatever you call Macy's card over there. They figured out that she was pregnant based on her purchases, and they sent a catalogue with all these baby goods, all this stuff to her parents. They sent that out 2 weeks before she'd even told her parents that she was pregnant. And they knew based on her purchase behaviour, and it wasn't because she was buying nappies and things, it's because she was buying vitamins, she was buying like maternity bras and all this sort of stuff. So marketing is getting customised to suit the needs. So next time you do get a Flybuys, if you're a Flybuys or Safeway rewards card member, have a look at the catalogue, because it'll be different for every household. So I don't have kids, so it's nothing baby related, whereas my cousins have kids and everything in their catalogue is baby related, whereas mine's big because of my husband. So so what I want to move on is to SEO. So SEO is one of the most misunderstood aspects of digital marketing, because we know it's so important. It's also misunderstood because it's an area from where lovely companies from, developing nations say they can do SEO for $5 or something like that. It's not all about backlinking. SEO that you can actually do yourself if you understand the method. In most cases, you don't have to redesign your website. And also, don't listen to anyone who guarantees they'll get you on the first page, because they can't. And if they're doing that, most likely they're telling your competitor that they can do the same thing. The other thing is we spend a lot of time on social media, but the social media tools that actually help you with your SEO the most is Google Plus and LinkedIn. And that's because they use what's known as follow links, whereas things you post on Facebook and Twitter use no follow links. So no follow links are basically read by Google as not being relevant to be searchable. Obviously Facebook is great from a branding perspective, but if you really want to build those powerful backlinks, Google Plus and LinkedIn is where to go. So LinkedIn has a magazine section called Pulse now, where you can publish articles. Any links you put in those are follow links that link back to your website. SEO has two framework aspects: on page, off page. On page has to be done right before you can do the off page. So the off page is where you'll be doing the backlinks and so forth. There's black hat and there's white hat SEO. You know, marketers love their quirky names. White hat is legal, black hat is illegal. One of the most famous cases of black hat SEO was Aldi in Germany. They had a website that was black, and what they did was the frame was black. What they did was they did keyword stuffing and basically put luxury cars Germany, blah blah, Mercedes-Benz Germany, all this sort of stuff. To the human eye, you couldn't tell that there was those keywords. What happened was Google finally found out they were keyword stuffing, and Aldi in Germany got blacklisted for a year. Being a massive manufacturer, obviously you can get away with that, but being a small business you can't. And most reasons why you get blacklisted is because things haven't been done properly. Like in the case with Loretta, they were doing like 50,000 backlinks a month on directories and listings that were so irrelevant to her business that she was done for spamming, and that's why she got blacklisted. Keywords. So think with keywords, don't think short and just say marketing. You want to think long term. So keywords at about 2 to 3 words is great. Just don't overdo it, because you only want to have a keyword density of about 1 to 2%. But the thing that's really going to greatly improve your SEO is actually things you can do yourself. And that's through blogging. That's by having regular and updated content. So if Google can see that your website's being updated regularly and people are spending time on the site, it's going to help you rank higher, and it's going to help get the right type of clients and the right type of customers to your website. And then lastly, just moving on to social media. Social media is in some ways exciting, some ways difficult, and in some ways it can be very disheartening because it's free. People underestimate, and business owners underestimate and go, well, Coca-Cola's got 2 million people liking their page, why won't someone like my page? I'm a plumber. And the thing is, it has to be relevant and interesting content. So I was talking to this plumber in Ringwood, and he was saying, I have a Facebook page, nobody likes it. And I said, but what are you putting on there? You're saying that I've gone to this house and unclogged the toilet. Nobody really cares. I said to him, what about a YouTube channel? Show people how to change washers. Show people little tips and tricks of things that you can build up trust and you can build up interest in people and go, oh, okay, I remember seeing this guy, he showed how to do a washer. What happens is most people, when they try to do it ourselves, that's what happened with me with the dishwasher, we end up making it worse. So who's the first person you call up? You'll say, you call up the person you saw in the video of the washer, because you build up the trust. Brett's very good in with your pest inspections. He'll actually show people and say, you know, we went to this house, these are the termites we found, and actually show the before and after, and show the problems that he's solving. So do's and don'ts. Be genuine and authentic. Check your privacy settings. They're known to change. There was a restaurant that was interested in having me to do some of their marketing, and I did some research on their business page. It was all about, you know, we have the best customers in the world, so happy, blah, blah, blah. The owner's page was public, and he clicked onto the owner because he didn't like it. It would have had the worst clients on tonight, customers in my restaurant tonight, you know, hated them, blah, 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 blah. Really offensive things. But he didn't understand that that's public, and that even though he only thinks his profile is shared only around his friends, that people could see what he was saying. I politely declined that business, and funny enough, they actually, you know, went out of business and changed hands. And they were the type of you say cafe business, yeah. They were the type of these people, they wanted to be seen as an exclusive restaurant, yet they printed, you know, using Microsoft Publisher, thin paper, didn't have tablecloths, like they didn't understand what the ideal client or what the why is. Have a process for facilitating complaints, and remember that things online can be misinterpreted. So myself, I'm a little bit sarcastic, and I have to be careful when I write things online that it's not seen as being insulting or upsetting people. And do be consistent with your messaging. often because social media is seen as a social platform, people think they can get away with using slang or being a little bit friendlier. Now, if you're Tiffany & Co. or Gucci, you're probably not going to use, YOLO, which is you only live once, or FOMO in your communication messaging. So you have to make sure you're consistent in your approach. So make sure you don't upload or say anything that you're not happy for the whole world to see. Example of that is anything that's ever written by Kanye West on social media. Got an example, a good example of what not to do. Don't assume that social media is easy to grow. What happens is businesses tend to go very gung-ho and go, yep, I'm going to do this, it's going to be easy. They don't realise that there's a lot of resourcing and staffing that has to go into it. Don't neglect to proofread your social media posts. Don't forget that people may have a different sense of humour. And don't use natural disasters or other major events for self-promotion. An example of that was Kenzo Fashion House when it was during the Arab Spring in Egypt. They put a tweet out saying, newsflash, people in Egypt have heard about the Kenzo sale and there's been a riot, something along those lines. Disastrous. And just remember that anything you do put on social media can be found. So there was a lovely allocator when my husband worked at Vic Roads, who wrote a Facebook post saying, haha Vic Roads, I totally lied about the 120 hours I need to do and you still gave me my hours. Because he had done the hashtag with Vic Roads, which makes it public, Vic Roads checked their social media presence every day. They saw it and he actually lost his allocates. So, and then just to end, the other social engines are important, Bing and Yahoo, but the thing is, people are so dependent on Google that when it went down for 5 minutes in 2013, global traffic dropped 40%. So do really think about how your presence is seen on Google, and you would have noticed just recently that their search engine results have just changed again. If you don't have a Google Plus page, get a Google Plus page, because it really helps them with your search engine optimization, getting ranked on there. And if you have a web company, you don't have a website that they do it, make sure you have Google Webmasters attached to it as well. You guys have Google Webmasters, so you don't have to worry, but just make sure, because again, it really helps in boosting your website online. And then I just wanted to finish on, I've recently launched it's actually the second intake for this year, my digital marketing superhero program. So it's a 10-week program where you learn everything about digital marketing and how to do it on an online. It's online. There's 3 assessments where you have to actually, you do it on your business, and you actually do a strategy for your business that's marked by digital marketing experts. So it's essentially if you think about paying someone to do a digital marketing strategy, or you do it yourself but get the expertise and the advice. 10 weeks, and we show you how to do it. So you watch videos, but you also have to learn how to do it, and we show you, this is what you would do at a minimum, but if you want a best practice, this is what you should be doing as well. So we have 14 people starting on the 4th of April, which is very exciting. There are some places still available if you want to learn more about it. And then I'll finish. That's my contact information, and thank you for listening. Does anyone have any questions?
With the Google recognising, you say online presence, you can just have a box number, can't you?
Yeah, you can have branded pages which don't have to be linked to a location. Yeah, so that's no problem. I'll be here, you can come and talk to me as well, or you're eating sandwiches.